In 2005, there was a report in the BBC, and this report claimed that there was a young man, 14, 15-year-old, in the jungles of Nepal, who had been perfectly still or meditating under a tree for 9 months. He had had no food, no water, no movement, just simply sitting there and in a state of what appeared to be in a lotus pose and meditating. My interest in this area prompted me to try and make my way to Nepal, and I was privileged with my family to be in Nepal that very Christmas, and decided that we would go to see if we can find this boy in the jungles of Ratnapuri. Our journey started about 4 a.m. The following day after we arrived in Kathmandu, and after driving what must have been for about 12, 14 hours up and down mountains, we came to a place called Hatuda, and from there we came to a place called Ratnapuri. At Ratnapuri, we had to get onto a rickshaw, and from the rickshaw we arrived in this compound. It was deep in the middle of the jungle, but the remarkable thing was that it was just so quiet, so silent. Never ever witnessed anything so different, I think is the word I would use, just so different to what you consider to be our normal state of reality. I met a number of monks there, and they asked me, who we were, and we told them, and they showed us towards the compound. Into the compound there were 2 perimeter fences, and in the middle there was a tree, and underneath the tree seemed to be like a body, but you couldn't be sure. Anyway, we tried to get closer, but we weren't able to because of these fences. And as we're about to leave, somewhat a bit disappointed, my son Amar calls me and said these monks want to have a word with you. So they asked me who I was and where we came from, and I told them. And they asked me, who's your guru? Who do you follow? And I said, my guru is Lama Nanak, Rinpoche Nanak, Guru Nanak. Upon hearing that, one of them became very excited, an older of the 3, and he said, wait here. He went away, came back, and he says, no, come with me. And he took me past the first perimeter fence towards the second, past the second, and he said, look, you can see the Buddha boy. Don't take any photographs. Don't use the flash, and don't make any noise. And I had the privilege of recording that for a minute, I think it was. And there he was. As we were leaving, the monk stopped me again, and he said, wait. And he ran towards the Buddha boy again, and beside him there were a number of scarves. And he brought he brought in fact 5 scarves, and he gave me one of these scarves. That trip proved so life transforming that we found ourselves in a place called Chitwan after having visited the Buddha boy. And we came across a group of children just beside the jungle cutting some grass. And the night before, when we'd arrived there, they'd forbidden us to go anywhere near there because of dangers of animals. So my son asked me to ask the driver, why are these kids cutting the grass? So I asked the driver, who is Kumar, and he told me that, in a few years' time, see, there are some trees in the grasses, in the undergrowth. And I said, yes. And he said, well, in a few years' time, these trees will grow up big enough that we'll be able to sell them. And he pointed at a building and said, we'll be able to repair this building. And this building was maybe 30, 40 meters wide, and it had the middle of it missing. It just seemed to be like 2 bookends. And he said, well, one of the kids left some food in the school. This is their school. And some elephants walked through it. And it was going to take them a few years to get enough money to rebuild it. So my son prompted me to ask how much would it cost. And it was a few £100. And therefore, prompted again, we supported this particular initiative and enabled the school to be built. And here is the school, it was built. And decided that there was a need there to support the educational activities. And over the last 10, 11 years, we have been funding a role of a teacher, a caretaker as well. There is enough education for about 31 children, school uniforms, materials, pencils, pens, whatever's needed really. Even school trips to Lumbini, Pottawa, there's a number of places. So the community has thrived. But in 2015, January, there was this incredible earthquake. And in this earthquake, Nepal was just completely shattered. 2 days later after the earthquake, we got a call from Nepal and from Kumar. And Kumar tells me the impact. But luckily, the village that we had been supporting survived. And however, the number of valleys around them had experienced landslides, and there was significant damage. So we ascertained what the needs were, and through the Flame Centre created an initiative to support them. And it wasn't much with the Flame Centre and its supporters. Within a few days, we were able to provide what we were told was for 41 families, and this required a little bit of rice, a little bit of lentils, salt, oil, and a tent. Just basics, just to get through the devastation that was there and the panic that was there. But a remarkable group of people, and people of dignity, people of ethics, people of love, and people of humanity. I think we have a lot to learn from individuals around the world who live within their indigenous cultures. There's a lot of value there. So we supported this initiative, and instead of 41 families, we came across 151, I believe it was. And all of them were given whatever support we were able to give, combined with others. And then decided to see how we can help Nepal rebuild itself. How can the people regain some level of independence? Human dignity, I think, is what drove us. Human value, human worth, and just having the ability to support someone kind of awakens a sense of self, a sense of ability to do something that's meaningful. So through Kumar, we decided that we would try and see how we can support it, and through the incredible work that the Flame has done in terms of taking mindfulness meditation. Well, it's had a number of events at the cathedral. Here it is. It's supporting it throughout the world, throughout the country now, with its incredible work with the mindfulness. We felt that there was a link there, and we were fortunate enough through Kumar and his contacts to source a number of individuals who make handmade products. And these handmade products are then being brought over to England, and through the Flame Centre and its affiliates are going to be provided out, such that it provides an ethical chain, an ethical way of working, right from the source right down to the end user. And there's a whole range of products that actually support the work that the Flame has been engaged in. For example, we have a range of products that are to do with sound therapy, based meditation, and these include these remarkable hand-beaten singing bowls. these bells. And these bells. And you can see the quality of the sound. So for healing, sound therapy based work, for sound meditation, to develop sound therapy, to develop a sound meditation based activities and techniques, these are essential products. We were also able to source handmade incenses which contain a whole range of ingredients which are used for medicinal purposes, so saffron, nagin, a whole range of other very essential, very local and also Indian elements in this. So hand-rolled incenses for aromatherapy, for your working with just creating your sacred space, and then aids to help with your meditation. For example, there's hand again. We try and source local produce, and these are again made, but they are very, very valuable and incredible aid to developing awareness. And not just that, but there are also the fact that just stimulating certain points within your own physiology has impacts, just like mudras have impacts. So you have sandalwood, you have rudraksha, you have other even crystal ones, a whole range of these, variety of these wonderful, wonderful products. So the idea is very simple, from source right down to the end users, an ethical chain that's based on kirtan, ethical lifestyle. And it's simply a question of ensuring that we can help those help themselves in a way that it's not dependent, but a valuing of their culture. And as East and West begun to merge in their advancement, one has a technological and intellectual space, and the other one has civilization, wisdom, and self-inquiry. As these come together, this provides a remarkable opportunity of creating ethical work in an ethical way of living, which is both valuable for you and valuable for those that it serves. Thank you very much.